Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Singapore Injustice Podcast. I'm one of the co hosts, Kush, and this is Max, and today we're going to be taking a brief look into some of the injustices in Singapore for this series. We actually have something that might help you see if you are having implicit connections and implicit racism. So, this isn't a CAS opportunity per se, but it will be very, very helpful to better yourself, especially in terms of seeing whether you have subconscious racism. So, if you head on to implicitharvard.edu, we'll put this in the YouTube description, you can actually find some various tests about your implicit connections that you have. Like, if you go onto the website, you see Project Implicit, and there's a lot of situations where do you prefer a white person or a black person? Do you relate guns to violence? Like things like that. And
Things that implicitly
Yeah.
that don't explicitly test racism, because obviously people could control that if the questions were that explicit, but they pose questions that you could answer, not know you're being racist, but actually prove that you are actually being racist.
Yeah, so it's related to time where it has it asks you to sort two it asks you to sort black people and white people into two categories. So one is bad and one is good. And it gives you the pictures of a person and it gives you words. And there's two columns, bad and good. If it gave you a word like harmful, you'd sort it into the bad. And if it gave you a person, it tells you where to sort it into. One round it'll tell you to put the black person with the bad words, and one round it'll tell you to put them with the good words. And obviously with that, there's some implicit racism that you can uncover where sometimes, let's say you're favored towards black people, it'll be harder for you to put a black person in with the bad words in the bad column. So if you didn't really understand that, well, it's very easy to understand if you head on to Project Implicit at Harvard. um, it's a very, very interesting test, and it'll come very, very handy in the future and currently, where our society is becoming more and more woke in terms of
More and more
awakened.
awake when
Relating
when
to-
discuss relating to racism and other social injustices.